Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eliana from Easy Things, and today we are going to be doing 3 easy and affordable recipes for dinner or lunch or whatever you want to use them for. The first meal that we're starting with is steak with broccoli and rice, and I'm just kind of showing you what I use. There's not much here, just a little bit of steak, some instant rice, some broccoli, garlic and onion powder, as well as a garlic and herb seasoning, salt, pepper, and some olive oil. You're not really looking for a friend, so at the top for me. Never thought that loving would be easy. So the first thing that we're doing is we're just going to cut up our broccoli, and then I'm going to wash it, but you don't really see me wash it, but I'm going to cut it up, wash it, and then we are going to cut up our steak, which I usually don't do. But I found in the past that when we make this meal, the pieces are a little bit harder to chew, so I figured smaller bite-sized pieces might be a little bit better. So we're just going to cut up our steak and then measure our rice and water, and then we'll be ready to get cooking. So we're just going to put the water in the pot for our rice and let that boil, and then we're going to put some olive oil in the wok with our steak, and we're just going to start cooking that up. You'll see that's some salt and some pepper. I don't really measure it, it's all about just how well it coats it. Good amount of pepper because we do like our pepper. And then I'm going to add the rice into the boiling pot of water, turn off the heat and let that sit. And now I'm just adding some onion and garlic powder to the steak. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Finally, we're going to add the garlic and herb seasoning. I think I got this from Aldi, and it is amazing. It gives the steak like this just ridiculously good flavor. You could just do salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I've done that before, but once I started using this seasoning on this steak, I never went back. And this is not a meal that we have often, but whenever we do go to Trader Joe's, which I would say maybe once every couple months or maybe once a month, we will pick up this steak because we don't eat red meat very often, but it is nice as a treat. So now I'm just cooking up my broccoli in the same pan so I can get some of those flavors, and I'm just going to do some salt, pepper, garlic and onion powder just like the steak, and then a little bit of olive oil to help it stick to the broccoli. And yeah. You're all alone. Hold up, baby. I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple. I really wanted to label this video like 3 ingredient recipes, because this right here is literally a 3 ingredient recipe. It's absolutely delicious. It's so quick to cook. I think this steak takes like 7 minutes. I would probably do it a little less because I like mine more medium rare, but my boyfriend likes a little bit more medium to well, so it's all depending on how you like your steak cooked. But this meal is so good, and I wanted this video to be 3 ingredient recipes. However, the next meal I make is not really 3 ingredients, so it's kind of a cheat, but for me it kind of is 3 ingredients because I'll usually have most of that stuff on hand. Here he goes, with his humble and everlasting ego. Someone hurt your feelings not that long ago. For our next meal, this is one I was talking about, that's not 3 ingredients but kind of is honey sriracha meatballs with rice and egg rolls, or you could do vegetables. So all that we have is some ginger, some garlic and onion powder, salt, pepper, rice vinegar, sesame oil, honey, sriracha, breadcrumbs, eggs, garlic, green onion, the egg rolls with the sauce, the rice, and I think I missed something. Oh yeah, and soy sauce. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our turkey, because of course we need turkey. We're going to put our turkey in the bowl with our breadcrumbs, our eggs, our green onion, and then we're going to season with some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. So for me, this is a 3 ingredient meal because we pretty much have all these things on hand. So for me, I look at it like, okay, rice, meatballs, and egg roll. So to me, it seems like it's not 3 ingredients, it's 3 items, but for me, it feels like a 3 ingredient meal. But it definitely is more, and the reason that you see all those other things like the garlic, the sriracha, the honey, soy sauce, all of that is because that is for the sauce that goes on the meatballs to make them honey sriracha meatballs. It's so delicious, and if I didn't have to make that sauce, I would totally label this a 3 ingredient meal, because really it's just turkey, rice, and then whatever side you kind of want with it. But you'll see the sauce is amazing and so necessary, and that's what really makes this like the best meal ever. This is one of our favorite meals to make. It's one of our staples for sure, because of the fact that we can make so much at once. Like, this is 2 pounds of turkey, but this entire thing that I make lasts us 3 days, and we like leftovers for the sake of saving money, for the sake of saving time, because we're so busy. So it is so helpful to have leftovers. So this meal literally lasted us 3 days, which is amazing. So yeah, so after we mix everything together, we obviously put them into meatballs and put them in the pan, and then we're going to put them in the oven at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes. And I know that my oven looks really gross, but that will be in a cleaning video soon, and that pot is not dirty, it's just water spots from the dishwasher. And now I'm just getting the rice ready. I was going to do just 3 servings, but I did 4. So now we're making our sauce. Now this is the sauce times 3. So what they usually do is like 3 tablespoons of the soy sauce. I'm tripling that. The reason I do is because it is not enough usually when you do exactly what they say. I will put the recipes in the description. But this sauce is amazing and very necessary. This is probably one of the only things I will measure. A lot of times I don't measure seasonings or things, but this one you kind of have to, because if you don't, you can end up way too sweet, way too soy saucy, or way too much sriracha, which if you do follow the recipe, it will be extremely spicy. So word of advice, definitely put less sriracha than it says. So for me, I am tripling the recipe, but I'm actually only putting like, I don't even know how to say it. So usually the recipe calls for 1/4 a cup of sriracha in just the regular recipe. I'm doing half of that, even though I tripled all the other ingredients, and it still is very spicy. Now, I struggle handling spicy stuff, even though I love the flavor. It's just harder for me. So maybe doing the regular 1/4 with, tripling the sauce will be good enough. So we're going to put all the ingredients into the pot. I add cornstarch, which is not in the recipe, but I do because it thickens the sauce a lot and helps. I just feel like the sauce, when it's thicker, it adheres to the meatballs better. So we're just going to add the cornstarch, mix it up, let it come to a boil, and once it does, you're going to let it simmer for about 7 minutes. This is me checking the meatballs. They were cooked, but I decided I wanted them to go in just a teeny bit longer to get a little more browned. Our rice is looking good, and our sauce has come to its boil.
We do anything for what we started, but this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll
now that our meatballs and sauce and rice is all done, I'm going to start, this is kind of my meal prep, so I'm going to start putting them in these little containers for the next couple of days. I'm going to just dunk the meatballs into the sauce, put that in the smaller side, and then add the rice on the larger side, and then we'll be all set.
Sometimes when I'm reasoning about us, I know you got me, it's so effortless. Back to back we would carry on and we'd do anything for what we started. But this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll try tonight, but this time we're not safe and sound. Not safe and sound. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me?
One little thing I did that was sort of a cheat is the egg rolls. Usually I will put those in the oven simultaneously with the meatballs, or halfway through, whatever. However, I just did not have time this day, so I literally just threw them in the microwave and they turned out fine. We also didn't have any more egg rolls for the little boxes for the next couple of days, so we were going to have like vegetables with it, but it ended up being enough without anything. So yeah, this is a great meal that you can add any sides or anything with, and it's decently healthy and it's delicious.
On my side, if you look in the sides, baby, do they make you lose gravity?
So the last meal I'm going to share with you is just easy chicken fajitas. This is another kind of 3-ingredient recipe. I'm sure you've seen this recipe or recipes like this, very easy, all over the place. It's very simple. The only thing that makes mine a little bit more special is that I use Cajun seasoning on top of the fajita seasoning, which may seem really crazy, but I'm telling you it's delicious. So we just have onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. We had some sugar in that little tub. We had paprika, cayenne pepper, chili powder. I did call for cumin, but I didn't have cumin, so I just kind of ignored that. So the first thing we're going to do is just cut up our chicken into strips. I didn't measure how much chicken I have. I mean, maybe it's like a pound, maybe a little bit more. I don't really know. I'm not a big measurer, I just kind of do. So I'm just trimming off any little fat or weird pieces. And we're just going to spray this pan, add the chicken. We're going to add some bell peppers and some onion. You'll see that the onion I use right here is really small. Usually I would have bigger chunks of onion, but this is just what I had, so I just used it. It was fine. It's more for flavor anyways. And then just adding some peppers, and then we're going to start adding our seasonings. So I didn't measure. To me it's all about how well something is coated. So if you are putting your seasonings in and everything looks pretty well dusted and you mix it up and it looks like it's well coated, you're good. So we're doing salt and pepper first. Then we're going to add the cornstarch. Now the reason I have all these seasonings instead of just a fajita packet, I just don't have any fajita seasoning, so I'm just kind of making the fajita seasoning. That's the sugar, it called for that. Like I said, the only thing I didn't have that I asked for was cumin, so I just ignored that and just did the rest of those ingredients. So garlic and onion powder. Some chili powder. Some paprika. I usually like smoked paprika because I feel like it just gives it a little bit more of a smoky flavor, but this is just what I had. And then some cayenne. I used a very little bit just because I knew that I had a lot of seasonings. I just didn't want it to become overly spicy or anything. And this is the Cajun seasoning that I use. I don't know what started me using it. I think once upon a time I wanted to make fajitas many years ago, and I don't think I had it, but I think I had the Cajun seasoning from something else, and I had seen that there was a lot of similar spices, but it just has its own little thing to it that's really good. So I add that and mix it all up and then put it in the oven. I believe this one is also 400 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. I accidentally had mine in for 30 minutes, so the chicken was a little bit dry, as you can see when I'm cutting it. However, it was cooked, it was good, the flavor was there, and yeah, it was really quick, really easy. And we're just gonna put it in some tortillas with some sour cream, some cheese, and you're all set.
You say that you're sorry. We turn the page and make up. A broken trust got you haunted. The doubt in you was enough to leave me chasing you on and on. But I don't care, I will let you in. You said goodbye like everything's gone. Everything that we could have been. But I know you are mine.
So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It was just a quick, little, easy, affordable meals. All these things I get from Aldi, apart from the steak. I got that from Trader Joe's. But it was all very affordable. A lot of things that I had on hand and very easy. I hope you enjoyed the cooking content. If you do, let me know. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.